Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Platform 1. You're here with us for our 10th episode now. I can't believe we've been going that long already. But some of you might have been here from the start, so if you have been, thank you very much for sticking along with us for so many episodes already. And if you're new to this show, thank you very much for watching. And do make sure you subscribe for future episodes as well. We're going to be live today from, it's just about 1 p.m. now, until 2 p.m. today. And is it going to be a busy week this week, Dave?
It's always a busy week on Platform 1. We always have a lot to talk about, hot new releases, the latest model railway news as well. I believe a couple of people have spotted it's always a busy week, and it's always a busy week.
Yeah, it's never not going to be here. The model railway world is very exciting, and there's always plenty to see. We've already got plenty of guys down here in the chat as well who are excited for us to get going. We've got locomotive Thoralf is here once again, so excited. Finally say that good afternoon. Gronkston Model Railway says good afternoon.
Hello.
Andrew McKay says hello, and to everyone else who's logged on. And he said, wow, it's the 10th episode already. Surprised as we are. Ethan Amstott says good morning from the USA. Anthony Strathmore Road Junction says good afternoon. Simon Anthony James, Andrew McKay, Bluegrass Rail fan. He says, is it a 10th episode spectacular today? Well, we've got plenty to go through, so
we really have.
It's always a spectacular here on Platform 1. We've got 700 Shunter from Australia here once again, Andy 1962, and we've got Upwell and Onwards who's signing in from New Zealand at 1 a.m. So we've got plenty of hardcore viewers here in the chat today.
Thank you very much for being here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And where to start?
Where do we start? Now, you might see that we've got, interestingly, for a change on the table, we've not just got single locos or single wagons, we've actually got a few full trains here on the table. And this is part of something that is a total exclusive for Platform 1 again, and something that you guys will be the first to hear about. So this is really exciting. Our all new range of bargain bundle sets. We've got 2 here on the table to show you, and we've got more coming through on the screen right now.
So these are really perfect setups. If you're not quite sure what loco to run with what rolling stock, these are a great start and a great guide for appropriate vehicles. We've got the Wartime Workhorse there, which features one of our Hattons Originals Barclays, as well as appropriately Great Western wartime liveried Warwell wagons and a Shunter's truck. We've got the Barclay again there with a different set of Warwells and a Shunter's truck, perfect for all of you who are BR modelers. And these packs really just bring together a one-click possibility on our website, so really easy to order. And of course, as well, we're offering some great discounts on these. These both packs we've seen so far are £140. The pack on the screen there at the moment with the Caledonian Barclay and the 3 wagons is £100, which is quite a big saving off the RRP.
There really are some amazing prices to snap up here. Like Dave said, this is only £100, and you consider the price of one loco can often be £99 or more. So to get an entire train that you can run straight away on your layout for £100 is really incredible. And these aren't basic wagons and basic coaches either. These are full fat, full detail, lovely wagons, and some of them are even weathered, as you can see here, like with this Power Station hauler bundle that we've got. Again, we've got some more Warwell bundles here. We've got Katie with the bolster deck conversions on there, which you might have seen similar trains performing maneuvers like this at Steelworks back in the day. But there really is trains available for every era. Oh, Dave, there's quite a few there.
There certainly is. We've looked through our stock inventory and put together the really appropriate locos with the exact type of coaches and wagons that they'd haul in real life as well. So for those of you who aren't quite sure what the next loco is for your layout, whether your era's right back in era 3 in the Big 4 era or heading up towards the modern day, these are something to have a look at and get an instant train set up on your layout. And of course, they're available to order right now as well.
That's it. And the beauty of these having such small tank locomotives with them means that they're really versatile for like quite a lot of different layouts. So if you've only got a really short industrial workbench layout or something really short there, you can really fit these in somewhere great. And as you've seen from all the clips passing through there really is a lot of choice, and there's a lot of great trains to get your hands on.
There's quite a bit of variety, and all of them feature our own exclusive Hattons Originals, either the P-Class or the Andrew Barclays as well, which we've had on Platform 1 before, and there's various videos on our channel too, and we can't say enough about the quality of those models. Really, really high quality. So whether you've got one already and fancy another, or whether it's the first time you're thinking about getting one and you wanted the whole package, you can do it right now.
That's it. If you've not already taken a plunge on a Barclay or a P-Class, it is the perfect time to do so. And as you can see on the table before us here, they really do look fantastic when they're in a full train like this, and it really sets them off quite nicely. I'm personally quite a big fan of this Day of the Races set that we've got, because there's a lot of colour there, and it's really easy to further expand that if you wanted to later as well, because how these sort of trains would work is these horse boxes at the back would often be coupled up to the back of an already working goods train or a passenger train, so that the person who had the horse could take it to a racetrack somewhere or somewhere else they wanted it to be delivered to. So these could be hitched up to the back of any sort of formation you like, really, but we've got one already here for you, and for just £100 you can't go wrong.
This really goes back to the golden age of steam for me, with the intricately lined locomotive in Caledonian livery and the horse boxes as well. I mean, how many horses get transported by rail today?
I don't think it
compared to right in the earlier parts of the 20th century, nearly 100 years ago now, this was common traffic on the railways. So it's really pulling that history forward as well there, which is part of the fun of it for me as well. It's not only recreating the locomotives and the rolling stock, it's recreating history that's just fallen by the wayside a little bit now.
That's it, and we've chosen, we tried to do that with each of the different bundles that you've seen there. There's a little bit of history from the railways captured in each one, so they've all got a little story to tell, and it's a story that you can carry onto your layout as well. Now, we've got quite a few guys who are already very excited about these bundles, and it's just really great to see that you're all interested in these. If you, as Dave said before as well, if you do want to order one, there is a link in the description right now, and you can find out all you need to know about them, what comes with each set, and how much they are, and everything else. We've got Bowmaker Fox says, liking the locos on the table today, the Peckett B2, the Andrew Barclay, and the Ruston Shunter. Awesome. There's plenty more to come in the show as well, so keep your eyes peeled. Uphill and Onward says, greatly loving the industrial feel of the Barclay, Peckett, and of course the Ruston.
I think we've said it before, haven't we? It's a really good time for industrial modellers at the moment.
We'll
be coming to the Ruston and the B2 shortly, as I'm sure you can imagine. But with the bargain packs now available on these locomotives, the Barclays and various wagons to go with them, there's no better time to start off an industrial layout, really. So if you're getting the industrial feel from this, so are we, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And it's like I said before, they're quite nice formation sizes that you can fit them in on a smaller layout as well. So if you did want to go for something like an industrial shelf layout or something like that, these are absolutely perfect for you. We've got Simon Anti-James says, nice. 700 Shunter says, really tempted by these bundles. A Day at the Races has definitely piqued my interest. Like I say, that's one of my favourites, definitely. Ethan Amstutz says the Cali Barclay with the horse boxes for him. So plenty of love for the Day at the Races there.
That's it. Looks like a good choice, that one. And as said, they're all available to order right now on our website by clicking that link in the description as well.
That's it. We've got Ben Davis says the Hattons sets look amazing and they'll have to have a look. Andy 1962 says nice bundles. Who doesn't love a bargain? Hope to see many more in the future. Yeah, hopefully there might be more to come. So keep your eyes peeled on the website and on the show, because we'll be featuring them here too. Ethan Amstutz says tempted by the P-Class passenger bundle. That's a really great one, that, because it's just one loco, one coach, and that's a full train, off you go.
Well, that's completely authentic as well, for a lot of those southeast England little branch lines where you would just have a really small rake operating between a couple of different villages and even farms and hamlets in some cases too. Just that small rake is a complete train. Again, not something you really see on the network now, a train that small, but really pulling back that history for the 40s, the 1950s right through. So, and
like you said, that's totally prototypical as well.
Yeah.
We've got Rocky Road TMD says the Branchline passenger set looks cool. What price is it? That one's coming in at £110.
Yes, that's the P-Class and the SCCR birdcage coach.
We've got Bluegrass Rail Fan says the horse boxes are interesting. I imagine they only held a couple of horses, or just one perhaps. I think they could take about 2 or 3 at a push, couldn't they?
I think they did. If you really needed to cram them in, you could keep quite a few in there with different enclosures, or paddocks I suppose you'd call them, inside one of those really. But yeah, you could squeeze a few in there if you really needed to, but I think less is more in a horse box.
Did they sell first class tickets for the horses, or was it just standard?
I'm not really sure. A little bit more hay inside maybe.
They got water in first class, but we've got Bowmaker Fox again says very tempted, but the B2 as well, his bank account's going to be going down a lot for a while, he says. Mile M Park says this is something which he'd seen before, very impressive. Gareth Waite He's so going for the power station pack, and how long is the offer on for? They're basically here until while stocks last, really. So if you do want to get your hands on one, now is the time to strike, really, because we don't know how long those will be in stock for.
That's it, and some of them are quite limited stock as well. So if you are tempted, I wouldn't hang around on your order.
That's it. Gronkston Model Railway says it's ideal for an MOD mini layout. That's a really good idea.
Really good idea.
And we've got Upall and Onwards who says, oh darn, wishing I was not saving cash for a big model show at the end of the month because the bundles look so good. Well, hopefully they'll be in stock for a little while, but as we say, the stocks are very limited on some of these, so you might want to strike now if you're interested in those. Right, so a lot of you guys have already been asking in the comments about this one, and no surprise, it's right in front of me here. We're going to have to talk about the dinky little Ruston 48DS shunter, aren't we?
The smallest loco on the desk has been spotted by the most people today, I think, which is
I think so.
interesting.
The eagle-eyed viewers on the stream today, as always. So we've got a couple of images of it here. Now, this is the pale green version, which has come into stock, and we are expecting 3 more liveries to come in the future as well. It comes complete with the match wagon attached, which is detachable, isn't it?
Yes.
And this just helps to provide some better electrical pickups for the locomotive, because as you can see, it is a tiny wheelbase on this thing. And it performs excellently from our tests, even without the match wagon, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, the locomotive's less than 2 inches long on its own, which is absolutely minute for a double O gauge locomotive. Plus, it's fully freshly tooled as well. It was only announced in January as part of Hornby's 2019 announcements. It's in now, as Jack mentioned. We've had the first delivery, the original style Ruston and Hornsby Pale Green, which is available right now to order. And we've got 3 more coming throughout towards sort of the end of the year. They're coming in 3 distinct different liveries, which can be pre-ordered as well.
There really are some quirky liveries for this thing as well.
Really is.
One which is my personal favourite. It's the John Dewar Distillery livery.
Yes.
And it's this very striking white and red colour scheme, and that was used just for one distillery up in Scotland, but you can really get, you know, with these items, they are so small and they did work in so far many far-flung locations that you can use them pretty much anywhere, can't you?
And you can use them in pretty much any time period as well. The first locos in real life were actually built in the late 1930s. Wow. And some of the later ones, we've seen pictures of them heading right into the 1990s for operation in real life, and quite a lot of them still survive in preservation today too. So you've almost got coming up towards a century really of life for these locomotives.
Yeah.
One of the first diesel shunter designs. I don't really want to use the word archaic, but you can really see that classic design there, more like a steam locomotive with a bonnet and a cab at the back as well. So it really does sort of have that transition period in design.
It is archaic, but then it did pave the way for many locomotives to come this design, doesn't it? You can kind of see much larger shunters like the Class 08 and the Class 03 and 4, you can see where the design's kind of grown on from there.
Absolutely.
Literally grown on to much bigger size locomotives. But they are beautiful in the small size as well. Hornby's managed to pack in a lot of detail to the model too, which is amazing to me. There's even cab detail in there.
Full cab interior, the 6-pin digital ready as well. Pickups on all the wheels, including the match wagon if you need the longer wheelbase there as well, but you can disconnect it. And as you touched on before, the haulage capacity on these really does go for it, so to speak. As you can see on the screen there, they just look fantastic either on their own or with a couple of wagons. And we have tested one with quite a few coaches as well, which is pretty inauthentic for the real thing. But the locomotive here did manage it too, so for its size, it packs a heck of a punch. It
really is a fantastic motor that Hornby have managed to cram into this tiny, tiny chassis. It's got great pulling power, and as we've touched on as well, the pickup from the electrics, it's quite astounding what it can do with point work, with or without the match wagon. As you can see there, it runs on its own perfectly well over some of the point work. It's a bit of a feat, really, I'd say, for model engineering and double O gauge. And as we've talked about a bit as well, the level of detail on here, I can't stress enough how nice this is with the handrails. You've seen in some of the shots there the intricate lining on this as well. It's really quite a beautiful thing.
I can't think of having seen a model like this before available ready to run in double O gauge. A really minute little shunter there that's absolutely dwarfed by the small wagons it's hauling as well.
Those are small wagons, and it's about half the size of those.
It is indeed. It actually measures just under 2 inches long from buffer to buffer, the locomotive on its own as well. And in real life, the tiny bits of kit, I think they only weigh about 8 tons in real life too, so there's not a lot of weight to them. But that really helps get them onto a layout and gives them so many opportunities too, because they were used everywhere. Some tramways had some of these really small industries that couldn't afford a larger shunting locomotive and just had a couple of wagons they needed to shift about. I've seen pictures of them in dairies, military depots. British Rail had one.
I've even seen them in biscuit factories. Like, there really isn't somewhere that can't run one of these things, because it was so versatile and so small. They were perfect for these awkward yards and various shunting manoeuvres that needed to be done. And obviously they were cheap to build as well.
In a lot of places, they didn't actually replace steam locomotives, they replaced horses. Did the shunting instead. So there were places that were too small or too tight curvature for steam engines to go down, so they actually used horses to shunt the wagons instead. So you've actually replaced a horse with an iron horse, just cutting out the steam engine part completely. 100 years of history just gone, really. So
it was a very radical change, wasn't it?
It just shows you the leap that a lot of these companies could make with a locomotive such as that.
That's it. We've got a lot of excitement for the Ruston down in the comments.
It's been the same across the whole of Hattons, to be honest. Even our staff have been doing a double take, seeing them come in and going, it's so tiny, but it really packs a punch.
We were peering into the video room, weren't we, to see it running around with so many wagons on the back, and it was, wow, how was it doing that? We've got Up on Onwards was excited to see these. Lakota Thirauf says, I want to see the Queen Anne Brown version. Now that's coming in fairly soon. About 4 to 6 weeks we've been told for that particular version, but again, that's got a high level of detailing with the whole name of the distillery on the side and the back of the loco as well. We got Grongston Model Roy says incredible detail on such a small shunter. Toy 1606 says it's a great little model. 700 Shunter says, are you even able to attach a coupling to the Ruston, both front and back?
You are indeed, as we saw in the video previously, but on some of the photos too. Once you uncouple the match wagon, you can put a standard NEM coupling in the front and the rear of the locomotive and use it on its own.
There you go. We've got Bluegrass Rail Fan says that looks fairly tiny. It'd be a challenge to produce one of those in N-gauge, I bet. Would that even be possible?
I don't know. I mean, it might be something we see, but I'm surprised it's possible in 00. Never mind N-gauge.
Me too. They've really crammed some engineering into this. Up on Onward says the motor for the Ruston must be so tiny, and I thought the W4 Peckett had a tiny motor. Like I've said a few times, I'm starting to repeat myself now a little bit, but the level of engineering that has been done for this is unbelievable. It really has advanced so much to the point where we can do something like this in 00.
And with full digital capacity in there as well, it's not just a motor under the hood. You can fit a 6-pin digital socket too.
That doesn't compromise the look of the locomotive either, does it? It's not on show. Bowmaker Fox says the Ruston is tiny. How on earth could they fit a motor in there? And I thought the housing on the Peckett was impressive. Another person there. Richard Svidersky says, love the show, and I've just received the Peckett B2 NCB, and he thinks the Ruston's very lovely too. We will be touching on the Peckett shortly as well. Up on Onward says, think the only 00 scale powered vehicle smaller than that would be the Wickham trolley.
It is a little shorter actually. It is longer with its match wagon, but the actual vehicle is just slightly shorter than that. But with this being a full shunter as well, it does have that haulage capacity.
We thought that was tiny.
It's definitely the smallest shunter we've ever had.
John Fenny says, with the Ruston, the match wagon would look great with a timber load or some crates. That's a great idea for the load on there. Simon Anti-James says, absolutely amazing little train. Bluegrass Rail Fan says, it would actually fit in the wagons that it's pulling, which is true.
It pretty much would.
It'll fit on its own wagon that comes with it. Bowmaker Fox says the Ruston is insane. I just can't comprehend it. I'm struggling myself. Grongston Model Railway says what would be nice is a match-sided tipping hopper wagon to go with the Ruston. That'd look pretty good.
And with the coupling on the back as well, you can pair it up with any wagon you want. And if you did want a different style match wagon with the electrical pickups, maybe it's a little project for the weekend with a bit of wire and some breast pads as well.
That's it. And we've got one last comment here from Ethan Amstutz that says, loving the Ruston, it looks like a vintage truck from the front, which I agree with.
Yeah,
it's from that era of early diesel truck designs and what they did actually call mechanical horses at that point, didn't they? Because like you said, they were replacing horses, so it does have a familiarity there.
So I think we're sticking with the industrial theme, but moving slightly larger now. And as a couple of people have mentioned already, we have received into stock the third and final version for now of Hornby's Peckett B2. Now, these have been hugely popular in the two liveries we've had them so far, the Westminster green and the Sherwood colliery green as well. But this is the one that a lot of people have been waiting for in the NCB lined blue. It's just quite a bit of a different livery. and also has that clash between almost a Victorian design, but quite a lot of more modern features with the warning flashes on there and the wasp stripes as well.
Well, it's something we mentioned previously about the Pecketts, is the company did go for quite intricate, almost quaint designs for the locomotives that were intended for use on industrial lines. So it's quite odd to see such a delicate, nice-looking locomotive in such grimy sort of locations. And we've
fully agree.
Seen some fantastic photos of them later in life with the NCB, and they're absolutely filthy things. But then underneath all that grime, you've got this actually rather lovely blue with quite intricate lining on there, which Hornby's represented in the model perfectly. You've got the little hazard wasp stripes on the sides of the cab footsteps there too. So you've got that proper industrial look to it, as Dave touched on there. But it's still got that quaint look to it as well.
And as Peckett fans will know as well, pretty much every Peckett locomotive left the factory with a lot of brass fittings on as well. They really went to town on putting the brass and all the embellishments on these designs. Regardless of where they ended up working, they could have gone to the dirtiest, murkiest industrial site and they still would have absolutely shone when they were delivered.
They were proud of what they produced, weren't they?
They really were proud of the designs there, and Hornby's model captures that as well, really, with the finesse there. But as ever with the other releases of the Pecketts as well, the quality's really been kept up with this. It's a hugely detailed model, as you can see there, with separately fitted handrails and lamp irons, full cab interior with the regulator and all the other details, flush glazing, really intricate valve gear and some of that brass pipe in there. And the running quality too is really something to talk about, because on an industrial layout, you want your locomotive to be able to perform at a slower speed, be absolutely perfect for shunting, run over points and tight point work and curvature. And as you can see there, it does the job, it handles it.
There's no issues there at all, is there? And it's like with a lot of small industrial locos that we've seen lately, is that they're actually incredibly capable over a lot of the tricky point work, which is what, in real life, was the entire point of them. So it's nice to see that the models live up to their namesake in their capability, so to speak. The W4 Peckett with its little 040 chassis was pretty great over the points as well, and the 060 is no exception. They really are great runners. And one thing you notice, I noticed again when I picked this one up earlier in the stream, it's really heavy. Yeah. There's a lot of weight here. You've got the full die-cast chassis. The tank sides are actually metal too, and there is a lot of metal work on this thing, so it really has got some great pulling power thanks to that.
It's exactly what's needed in there to be able to shift either a couple of wagons or a whole heavy rake on a layout, especially over tight bits of point work, etc. And Hornby's really getting a name for itself in making great quality industrial locomotives. I mean, there's two there. You touched on the W4 Peckett before. There's just some absolutely fantastic releases coming through and some real variety of colours too. A lot of you will know the standard liveries of the big four operating companies, British Rail with its blacks and blues and greens, but with some of these industrial liveries, you just get so many vibrant different colours across the scheme. So if you want something that stands out a little bit on your layout, industrial modelling's the way to look.
It absolutely is, and that's why it is so popular at the moment, because it is just so different and vibrant, and there's so much out there to get into at the moment, especially like we've touched on earlier with some of our bargain bundles too. It's quite an accessible way to get into modelling as well.
And we've got both of these available at the moment to order right now as well, if you check those links out in the description. We've got the B2 Peckett at £99, and we've also got the other liveries of the Peckett still in stock, but not too many of them left now. And we have got the first Ruston in green, as you see here, available to order for £72, or if you want one of the other liveries, you can order one of those for later in the year.
But like you say, you might want to get your orders in soon, because these Rustons aren't going to stick around, and I don't think the Pecketts will either.
Not at all.
Everyone's getting very excited about the B2 again. I knew this would be a popular one for the stream. We've got Bowmaker Fox says, ooh, the B2, love it. Upwell and Onward says, loving the deep NCB blue. Glad I got one on order, and he's got some Terriers on order as well.
Fantastic.
Bluegrass Rail Fan says, sometimes he wishes he had 00 as a side project. He's too involved in N at the moment. Never say never for the future, though.
That's it.
700 Shunter says the NCB blue really suits the industrial loco as well. It does. Bowmaker Fox says, gotta pick a Peckett or two. That's great. I love
it's
that.
a good line.
Andy 1962 says the NCB livery is stunning. When he was younger, the NCB trains were green where he lived, and they usually looked black because they were never washed. Yeah, some of the photos we've seen are absolutely filthy.
Absolutely caked in rubbish and God
oil and grime and coal and what have you. Mylin Park says the smart paint jobs really make the industrial tank engines look unique. It's why they're so loved on heritage railways. That's absolutely true.
It really is. A lot of the people who built these and operated them as well really took pride in the locomotives and cleaned them, shined them up and put full intricate liveries on them too. So it's fantastic to be able to make that happen again in model form.
That's it. 700 Shunter says the Pekka B2 would be interesting to see paired with a Dapol LSWR K14. Bowmaker Fox says the budget for his Engage Alert just went down the drain because the B2 is so lovely. Ethan Amstead says loving the Pekka B as well. Probably going to bankrupt him, unfortunately. And Simon Anti-James says a really detailed little steam train. Love it.
Some really good Peckets coming through at the moment, and with this being the third release for now, I'm sure we can expect them in the future, but I'm going to kind of miss it on Platform 1, to be honest.
Me too. It's been a bit of a staple of the streams over the past few weeks, so
I'm going to kind of miss it, I think.
Me too. Is there any other Peckets that could come through in the future, maybe? I'm sure there was more out there that could be models of.
There's more W4s available to order, the 040 version. We have them available to order right now, but there's some new liveries coming through, including a purple livery too, which we'll have to get on Platform 1 as soon as we get them.
We'll definitely have to show that off for you guys. Right, so we've got something completely different now from Hornby to show off for you, and you've probably already spotted it right over there in the corner, and it's the new Coca-Cola Christmas train set, which is just released in the past week or so. And this, of course, is the perfect gift for Christmas. It's something great to go around the bottom of your tree, perhaps, or just for the fizzy drink fan in your life. It's a great present to pass on to them.
Hornby's really got a name for making Christmas sets with having the Santa Express on the market over the few years with the steam locomotive and the reindeer in transit wagon. And it's interesting to see this departure from them onto the Coca-Cola brand. I mean, we're all familiar with the holidays are coming and the Coca-Cola truck coming through as well and starting off Christmas with that sort of adventure. And now it's really able to transfer that into model form too, where you've got the diesel shunter, you've got the Freightliner wagon and the Coca-Cola box van too with the Santa branding.
There really is a lot of nostalgia behind this, and I think it is something that a lot of people connect with from childhood. It's something I always remember seeing on TV when I was a kid at Christmas, and it really heralded the sort of the start of the festive season in a sense. So it is great to see this come through a model form, and it comes in at a great price too. If you're just looking to start get your way in the hobby, £72 for a full train set. You get your controller included, and it's one of the newer Hornby controllers there included. You get a full oval of track, you get a re-railer, and obviously your full train, as you can see here. And the beauty is Hornby's actually producing more wagons to go with this as well. So later on in the year, we'll be getting some tank wagons to go with this, which you could argue could be filled with Coca-Cola. And some more box fans as well, so you can really get a long rake of these wagons going.
And the really good bonus about this as well is we have checked it, and it does fit under a standard Christmas tree as well. It'll go right round a circle there. You can see the track plan on the image. So if you did want a bit of something more as an ornament, or even to use the track as part of another bundle, it's great to pick up for the price. But you've got a full train there as well, and for £72 to get the controller, the 040 diesel shunter, as you can see in the screen there, with the distinct Coca-Cola branding, the track, the whole package for just over £70. It's a really bargain price to get started, and a really bright, vibrant livery to catch people's imaginations.
That's it. I mean, there's nothing else like this out there, is there? It's totally unique, something totally fun. You can see there the containers do actually open as well, so there's some opportunities for some fun there with that. But aside from it being a novelty and a Christmas-themed item, there is actually excuses for the modeler to use one of these too, isn't there? Because I've seen a lot of people who've got ideas to actually produce a cola plant bottling layout or something along those lines, which you could really make a case for using one of these on. And like I said before, there is more stock coming out for this, so it's not just this one train you could run. And there has been other items in the past which could potentially fit with that. So for the hardcore modeler, there's still an excuse for one of these to make sense on your layout as well.
There really is. And the locos there as well and the vehicles are all based on real life prototypes. The diesel shunter is based on a Bagnall locomotive preserved at a railway in Staffordshire. The Freightliner vehicles are used all over the country and all over the world, really, with containers on them. And the box van's based on a 1960s prototype, so they've all got the little bits in reality as well. And who's not to say that one could be painted in Coca-Cola livery in the real life?
Who knows, yeah, it might be something that happens one day. I'd love to see that. It'd be something totally different. We've got quite a few comments about this one too, which I'm not surprised about. We've got Trainspot7 says he loves the Coca-Cola train. Bluegrass Rail Fan says the Coca-Cola train is nice looking. I usually don't do licensed stuff, but someone did do a Pepsi set in N scale a while back along with a Hershey's one. So, as I say, there's more branded goods out there that you can run on your layout. Andy1962 says the Coca-Cola train, he saw it on Sam's Trains channel, and it looks really good. 700 Shunter said he still wants to create a Coca-Cola industrial layout. Just like I say, you could make a bottling plant or something like that.
Not a bad idea.
Gronkston Model Railway says he prefers Pepsi, so other beverages are available. Transport UK says he's drinking some Coke right now while looking at the Christmas set. Charles Curtis says he received his train set yesterday and he's really enjoying it so far.
Glad to hear it.
SGT Ghost says everything tastes better with Coke, even trains. Uphill and Onward says love to get the Coke set plus a number of war wells for his Coke truck collection. That'd look really cool.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah. Again, showing you some of the possibilities you can get, even with just starting it, running around the bottom of your tree, heading into the new year after you've used it for that. Who knows what the possibilities are? And that Coca-Cola Christmas truck, the famous one, that has been produced in model form in the past too, hasn't it? It has. We've got it available to order right now.
We do, actually, yeah.
So have a check of our website and we can do the truck as well.
We've got Andy1962 says holidays are coming. Hornby Coke train set looks good. Wish my 5-year-old self had got that for Christmas. Brockwell Lane says, is it compatible with Pepsi wagons? Probably not. Medway Peninsula says, can you get the wagons on their own? You can't get the container wagon on its own, but they are, like I say, they are producing some tank wagons to go with it and more of the box vans too. They'll be in later in the year. And we've got a couple more guys, Rocky Road TMD and Simon Anti James, both said they love the train set. So it's looking really good for
It's something really
Christmas.
Innovative and really captures people's imaginations. And it's just a brilliant way to get into the hobby.
That's it. What are we going to look at next, Dave?
Oh, I think we'll have to have a look at the track cleaner again. Now,
let's do it.
I know we've covered this before and it's been immensely popular since we first featured it on our streams. This is the Gauge Master track cleaner in network rail livery with the attachment on the bottom there to clean your track as it goes around, and this really has captured the imaginations of hundreds and hundreds of people. We'll be honest, we've sold huge amounts of them really. It's been a really popular item and it's actually close to selling out.
It is.
As well, so we haven't actually got many of these left, and we've had a lot of customers say just how well they work. They really are innovative to keeping your track clean on your layout rather than stretching over and using a track rubber or electronic track cleaner. Adds a bit of fun to it as well. So if you are tempted by one, really we'll get that order in now. Have a look at the link in the description and we've got them for £30. But we have been asked by the developers, Gauge Master, what people would like for round 2. They're interested in potentially making more of these vehicles in different liveries and just having a bit of decide what will be quite popular. With the network rail livery being really modern, bang up to date, it doesn't quite work for the steam era modelers, maybe modelers of the Big Four or industrial railways, or even Coca-Cola railways as
or
well.
even in the British Railway era as well.
Or either in the British Rail era, continental modelers. And they asked us the question of what we'd like to see for the next wagons if they do make them. And we had a bit of a think, we had a thought, we thought, well actually, we have a lot of people who watch Platform 1 who've probably got better ideas than us. So over to you guys. If you want to have a bit of a think over the next few minutes, what livery you'd love to see the track cleaning wagon in, let us know. We'll have a bit of a catch up towards the end of the show, see what people have been thinking about it. We'll take on your suggestions, and some of the best ones we will pass on to Gauge Master as well. So who knows, your idea might become a reality. So have a think and let us know.
That's it. The world really is your oyster with this one. Let us know exactly which one you'd like. You can choose anything you want. Get that down in the chat. Do put your comments in there. And like we say, that's going to get fed back to the development team at Gauge Master. And you might have a part in making future models exist that are exactly what you want. So as we say, we'll come back to this at the end, and we expect to see some really great ideas in the chat. So yeah, get your imaginations at the ready.
But of course, if you can't wait until then and you want a network rail one right now, do get your order in because they're not hanging around for long.
That's it. And for £30, they really are great for cleaning your track, and they look great while they're doing it too.
That's exactly it. So I think we're sticking with the wagon theme here, aren't we, really? Because we've seen not one, but 2 brand new brake van models coming through from Hornby. And this is the first decorated samples of the LMS 20-ton brake van, as you can see there, in both BR and LMS grey liveries. But also going through, we have the LSWR, the London South Western Railway 24-ton brake vans as well, which are coming through in LSWR livery, but also BR and Southern Railway liveries too. Now,
these are looking beautiful, aren't they?
They're absolutely gorgeous models, and these are announced as part of Hornby's 2019 range in January, and are just coming through the development stages now, with release planned towards the start of 2020. But covering some really great options for Southern Region, Southern Railway, London Midland, and London Midland and Scottish Railway modelers too.
And these really are covering some of the quite widely used brake fans, which haven't really been available in model form properly for a long time.
This is exactly it.
It's something that people have really been crying out for, so it's great to see a model of this coming through. And as you were listening from the photos there, these are shaping up to be absolutely lovely. You've got the wood panelling on the side, which is really detailed. You've even got some riveting on the metal panels on the side, which is just really, really nice. And from the liveries too, there's a lot of colour in these, which is really surprising for a brake van.
There is, especially with the Southern Railway models, where you've got the red ends alongside the brown sides too. And Hornby over the last few years has really concentrated on bringing a high quality brake van model through for every Big Four operator, and also British Railways as well. We've had the BR 20-ton brake van, we've had the GWR Toad, and last year we had the LNER Toad as well. So to fill those last two gaps with the Southern Railway and the LMS, we've got these two coming through, and that completes the set.
That's it. We'll give you another quick look at those because they did fly through quite quickly on the pictures there. But you can see how nice these are looking, and these are painted samples, so there might be a few things left to change yet, but they're shaping up really nicely. You can see the separately fitted handrails on there too, and there's quite a few tooling variations between the models as well, isn't there? You've got the different ducats on the sides there, as you can see.
You have the ballast weights underneath the LMS models there, either present or not present as well. So that's another distinct variation. There's actually 3 different types of the LMS brake van. You can just see the 2 different chassis in that shot there. But also on the LSWR version, I do apologise, there's quite a few tooling differences there too, including the ducats and the handrails, etc. And there's that really distinct livery again with the red ends as well, which is something you only really see on the Southern Railway and Southern Region. It's a little bit of something that they took to themselves really, but it just makes them really stand out against the greys and the bauxites of the usual brake van liveries.
It totally is a distinctive look for those Southern ones. And the beauty of a brake van is they are ripe for a bit of upgrading once you've bought them as well.
Absolutely.
So detailing one of those up with some nice brake, excuse me, some brake lamps on there, perhaps some passenger figures in there for your guard and stuff like that, they really can look fantastic, but they also look amazing on their own there.
They really do, and of course both of those are available to pre-order now as well. We've got the LMS vans coming in at £21 each, and the LSWR variations at £22.50.
Which is a really great price for the level of detail that you're getting here. And they are available pretty soon, aren't they? Next few months we're looking at getting these in.
Towards the end of the year, maybe early 2020 for those, but as soon as we have something more concrete, we'll let you know for certain. But just again, pretty much every train in that era, whether you're LMS or Southern modeler, needs a brake van if it's a freight train. You didn't really have them running around without that beforehand. So you pretty much need one if you're an LMS or Southern Railway modeler, really. It's a necessity,
really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably going for one of these. We've got Upwell and Onwards here, and he says, new brake vans look amazing, perfect for brake van specials with small locos or even small tender locos. That's another great idea for using one of these. 700 Shunter says, definite buy of the LSWR ones, as they both look so beautiful. Excuse me. And we've got John Fenny says, the Hornby LMS brake van looks fantastic. Awesome stuff.
I mean, there's probably one that even tempts you here, Jack, as well, because I know you're a fan of Merseyrail models.
Yes.
As well. And the LMS vans actually lasted until the 1990s and were painted up in full Merseyrail livery.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I was doing some research on these for various things, I did actually come across a photo with the Merseyrail logo on the side, and I thought, what's that doing on there? And I looked into it more, and you're quite right on that one. They were right up until the 90s. That's amazing.
It's not a model that they've announced yet, but who knows? It might be one we see for the future. And of course, being up here near Liverpool, it's quite appropriate for us.
I'd love to see that. Right, so now we've got something really hot off the press. This has landed just before we went on air, hasn't it?
It really is. We've just managed to squeeze this onto today's live stream. It really was news that we've only had for about an hour or so. And this is the first CAD images of Helgen's forthcoming O-gauge Class 56 locomotive. This is a loco that they announced just about a year ago now that they were building. The heavy freight locomotives designed in the 1970s really transformed and revolutionised freight services in the UK. They were actually the first diesel specifically built for heavy freight duties rather than mixed traffic or passenger work as well. Quite a few of them were actually built in Romania as well under licence, while the rest of them were built in the UK. And it is the UK model that Helgen are producing. We can see there with the full details. And these are initial CAD images just to show how the designs go in before they make the tooling and the physical versions, just to let us know the level of detail that they are cramming into this model. And as you can see in the images, they are cramming it into this model, really. You've got the full set of detailing down on the front, you've got the multiple working cables, looks like they're promising etched fans there as well, a powerful chassis with dual flywheel motors, detailed bogies. What you'd expect from Helgen for a no-gauge diesel locomotive, really.
I was going to say, I mean, Helgen's got great form for producing these big, heavyweight freight locomotives in no-gauge now, and I don't think we're going to be disappointed with this one either, are we? It's set to be a really detailed, very capable loco, and we're excited to see more on it in the future too.
Helgen's got a great name for these large locomotives, and the Class 60, if that's anything to go by, which was the last big heavy freight locomotive they made, was absolutely crammed with detail, full working lighting, DCC sound and capability. And I think, to be honest, I don't think anyone's ever got to the point of seeing what the haulage capacity is, because there's no layout big enough on the planet to be able to
probably
see
not
with dual powered 5-pole motors on there as well. It's a bit of a task to actually make these work as hard as they need to.
It's as good as the real thing, really, isn't it? And there's a lot of different liveries coming through for this, isn't there? Because he did get quite a varied life.
Well, the Class 56s have still got a life in them as well. There's quite a few of them still in use on the UK's railways, but also in Hungary as well. They've managed to get over there, and there's a few working there too. So the liveries they are producing go right from the 1970s BR Blue that are introduced in, through your liveries such as Large Logo Blue, into your sectorised liveries such as Rail Freight, and then into your privatised liveries. You've got EWS in there as well, and a couple of others. And a full list is available to see right now on our site as well, so check out that link.
I was going to say, go into the description, you can find out everything you need to know about these and get your pre-order in now. This has literally just come in just before we went on air as well, so we will have those pictures of the cards online as soon as we can, and you'll be able to see them in more detail on the website too. And keep an eye on our social media, and we'll be posting about it there too at some point as well.
We will indeed. So, sticking with the heavy freight theme, but going a little bit smaller than O-gauge, well, about as small as you can go, really.
A little bit more modern too.
We've got the latest releases of the Class 66 in N-gauge. Now, these are two different brands. You've got the Gauge Master Collection Biffa locomotive, which is 66783, in that really eye-catching red, orange and yellow livery of the GB Rail Freight design.
It's a bit of an infamous one, this one, isn't it, with the Biffa branding there. It's split opinions with a few people, but a lot of people have really grown to love this one. It's got a real cult following behind it. You've got the jokey nameplate there with the Flying Dustman, obviously named after the Flying Scotsman on. And it, like you say, it's a really eye-catching one, this one, with the bright red colour scheme.
A lot of people have been asking for this in N-gauge, and those of you who saw the stream a couple of weeks ago will have seen the first Gauge Master Collection 66 release, which is 66789 in the Large Logo Blue. So now you've got arguably the two biggest 66 celebrities on the network at the moment in use and available in N-gauge as well. So both of those are available to order right now, and you can have them both for £99 each.
That's it. A lot of models were really excited to see these come through in N-gauge, and Gauge Master's done a brilliant job with working with Dapol to get these through.
Yes.
And we've already seen tremendous sales for the British Rail liveried one, which is still in stock, but it might not be for a long time to come. And the Biffa one is certainly one that people are very excited about as well. And the models are fantastic as well, aren't they? They're really good runners, a lot of nice detail in there as well.
They've recently had a changeover to be an 18-pin digital socket as well, so even taking further advantage of the digital capabilities in there as well, for the full lighting on the locomotives, smooth running as well with the 18-pin Imperium decoder as well. So the models are still going through a constant upgrade just to make them better and better every time they get released. Yeah,
they really have been working on these for a long time, and they really show it now. It's looking like a fantastic model every time we get a new one in. Now, we've also got this variation over here as well, which is an EWS livery with the DB logos. And this actually comes as part of a train pack. As you can see behind it, we've got a few mega freight container wagons, which are with Russell containers there. And you get 6 of these in the pack.
You do, including the loco as well.
As well, yeah. So it's a fantastic way to get a full train running for your layout straight away. We've actually got a few shots of it here as well.
And this, again, is a really common livery now, with over 250 of the locomotives painted in what they call the EWS scheme originally, as you see there. But with DB taking over around 10 years ago, they are working their way through repainting the locomotives, but changing the branding a little bit quicker to include the DB Schenker emblem, which is quite a familiar one, really, throughout railway history. But alongside the high quality of the loco, you've also got the high quality of the wagons here as well. You can see those intermodal wagons, which look great with or without containers as well, in that really eye-catching blue livery, which doesn't actually last too long in real life when it's operating at high speed.
Yeah.
But when it initially goes out on the network, it really does shine that blue, especially with the containers on as well. And the good thing about this is, as it comes as a pack, it's a really great option to get a modern freight train onto your layout. You've got the loco and the wagons and the containers as well. So it's all instantly there in one box for you, just ready to get started.
That's it. A lot of guys get in touch to get some ideas of what they should be running with the locos or what the correct formation is. And packs like this are great because you don't really have to do any thinking. You can just buy one pack and that's your full train ready to go. The beauty of these as well is those containers are removable, as you saw in some of the photos there. So if you fancied swapping in some different containers onto these mega freight, you can do that as well. They do clip on nice and firmly, as Dave's just demonstrated there as well. So they're not going to be coming off too easily on your layout. And as you pointed out as well, there's an amazing amount of detail on these quite flat and what would normally be quite unassuming wagons. There's a lot of detail.
It's almost a shame it gets covered up by a container, really, because you've got the full spine of the wagon there with the individual air tanks and pipes, but also the framework too. You've got the brake pipes on there, the fully detailed bogies as well. It is almost a shame in a way to put a container on the top of it.
It's brilliant stuff for N-Gauge as well. So for all you guys out there, it really is a lovely detailed train you can get for your layout. And we've got a few guys here who are really excited to see this. Few of you were looking forward to seeing some N-Gauge on the show today, so we certainly won't disappoint you there. Bluegrass Rail Fan says he wants the set with the mega freight wagons. He's trying to show a little bit of restraint, but he'll probably give it in the near future, so it's very hard to resist. We know the pain too well. Transport UK says loving the 66. And is there any rough idea on the price and when they're due into stock? Both of these are available right now. The Biffa one is available on its own for £99.
And the pack is just under £200.
That's it. So you get some really good value for money there with these. We've got Simon Nancy James says really nice freight trains there. Bluegrass Rail Fan again says the EWS scheme was one that he liked even as a newcomer to UK rail modelling. It's similar to the Wisconsin Central scheme over in the States. And both had the same owner, he believes.
They did indeed. That's where the EWS livery comes from, actually, with the owners of Wisconsin Central. They did bring their livery over with the red and the yellow, but they did make their own branding when they got here, with EWS standing for English, Welsh and Scottish.
Yeah. There's a lot of that does go on, isn't there? Because the likes of Freightliner now, they did originally have the green livery over here, and now they're switching to the orange livery, which is seen by over in the States as well, and in Europe as well. So it's interesting that there's those transatlantic connections there. Right, so that covers pretty much everything we got on the table here. But you might have seen the last few weeks we've actually been running a special competition for the Great Electric Train Show coming up this year. And this show's taking place next weekend, actually, isn't it?
Weekend. It's only a week away.
That's it. So we'll be attending. You can come and see some of our latest model. You can come and chat to me and Dave and the rest of the team at Hattons. It's going to be a really good show. We really enjoyed the Great Electric Train Show, and we were really excited to be able to offer some tickets away to some of our lovely customers and viewers of the stream as well. So a lot of you guys got in touch and entered the competition, and obviously we had the one pair of tickets to give away. And I am padding it out for dramatic effect here. I think we need a bit of noise there. But yeah, I am very pleased to announce that Amory Junction has won. So very big congratulations if you're watching the stream today. If not, we'll try and get in touch with you somehow. But if you can, do get in touch in the comments if you are watching the stream. Just to make sure that's double confirmed. It's AMERY Junction on YouTube who entered via the community post we put out yesterday. So very well done on that. Get in touch in the comments. If not, we'll try and get in touch with you somehow. And very big thank you to everyone who entered and gave us some great questions.
And of course, if you didn't win as well, commiserations, but you can attend a show over next weekend as well. It's at the MK Arena in Milton Keynes, just north of London. And it's on Saturday and Sunday as well. It's proven to be a really fantastic show. Of course, we're there for starters, but there's some absolutely fantastic layouts on show, some brilliant bargains to be had. You can see all the latest updates on our Hattons Originals releases as well. And we do have full information on our website too. We have a guide on how to get there, all the ticket information as well. So take a look at that if you do fancy it. And if you come along, say hello as well.
That's it. If you want to come along, check out that link in the description too, and you can find out all you need to know about how to get there and everything else. Right, so we've got one last little reminder before we get on to some other questions as well. The Hornby Magazine Awards, which we've mentioned a few times now on the stream. We are plugging this quite a bit. But the final date for vote is tomorrow morning now. So if you haven't got those votes in yet, do make sure you go over to the website. There is a link in the description to do that. There's loads of great models and people up for awards this year. We were very grateful to be nominated for 3 different categories. We're on for Manufacturer of the Year, Retailer of the Year, and 00 Gauge Wagon of the Year for our RHTT, which you can see behind me, as well as our FEA Intermodal Wagons. Like I say, the voting closes tomorrow morning, and they'll be revealing the winner over the weekend at the Great Electric Train Show as well. So do get your votes in, and we really appreciate any votes for us.
And thank you to everyone who's voted so far as well.
Definitely.
Now,
right.
I think we should have a look back and see what people are thinking about the track cleaner options.
We've had a lot of suggestions.
Have we indeed?
We have.
We may have. Thank you very much, guys.
Good work, guys. There's some really great imagination on show here as well. So I think HVAC is going to be very happy with us. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe if there's too many options here, they might be a bit confused. But we've got 700 Shunter, and you'd like to see an LSWR parcels van as a track cleaner.
That sounds like an option.
Rocky Road TMD said you'd like to see a BR Brown livery, like the Steam era BR Brown vans.
That would look quite good as part of a longer rake as well, I think.
Definitely fit in with a lot of available stock out there too.
Yeah.
We've got Ethan Amstutz says GWR Brown, like the Siphon wagons, or GWR Grey. That could look really good. Bonemaker Fox said a slightly older livery would be great. Transport UK says an LNER one, not that they ever carried it, but an LNER old livery would be nice.
That'd be a nice option. Whether you'd have it teak like a parcels van, or whether you'd have it more like a freight vehicle, that's one to ponder.
That'd be an interesting one in
teak.
teak. Uphill and Onward says would like to see the track cleaner as an early BR era post van.
It's a nice suggestion.
That would fit.
With Royal Mail on the side as well, I think that'd really come out in that crimson colour.
There's too many good ideas here. We're going to be spoiled for choice. Lakota Thirauf says a plain wood box car so it blends in with anyone would be a good idea.
Sounds like a good option for international modelers, that.
That's it. 700 Shunter says maybe a Mark 1 Express coach as a track cleaner.
Good idea. One to consider.
I Like Transport says maybe a BR Green coach. Andy 1962 says how about a BR Ferry wagon?
They do have a very similar look to a ferry wagon, actually. A lot of a similar size, and the long wheelbase 4-wheel wagon as well. So maybe a ferry wagon's a great disguise for it.
Clive Cobbald's got an idea. It's similar to the Network Rail one, but for British Rail engineering times, he's like to see one in the Dutch livery, which would
grey and yellow.
Brilliant.
I think that'd look quite good.
We've got Andy 1962 says. Oops, sorry, my chat has just completely broken there for a second. I'll try and get back to where I was. Sorry, it was Cranky Chris said, how about a Pullman livery, or even better, a Midland Pullman? That'd look crazy.
Look quite good. It'd blend in with a few different things though, wouldn't it?
Indeed. We've got Andy 1962 again. He says BR maintenance livery.
Something like the olive green there. I think the departmental olive and the black, that'd really look good on it. Make it blend in with a lot of engineers rolling stock.
Yeah, that'd look really good. We've got Radford Junction says a track cleaner wagon in Derby RTC livery. We go for 80s modelers.
Red and blue. I think that's a good one to go for. That nice research version.
I'd like to see, if we're talking about that era, a Speedlink one might be quite good as well, but with the red and grey there. Emma says, hi Hattons, Pico should do the track cleaner in rail freight red and grey. There we go, rail freight red and grey.
There you go. Great minds think alike.
We've got Bowmaker Fox says a Siphon version in GWR. Again, Locomotive for Ralph says we should do a Hattons version.
Ooh, that's tempting.
So you never know.
What colour?
I know, yeah, which one?
That's one for us to think about.
We've got quite a few different colours there we could choose. And we've got one more from I Like Transport, and he's got one more cleaner suggestion. He says Intercity Livery GUV.
A little bit of class for a track cleaner there. That's a good one to end on.
Definitely. So we've got a lot of great suggestions there. We think Gauge Master's going to be very spoilt for choice there. So we'll definitely be feeding all of that back over, and then
Thank you very much. Knew we could count on you.
Keep your eyes out, and we might be able to reveal more on that in the future. So thank you very much for all your fantastic ideas. Right. We've only got about 5 minutes left of the stream, really? So we've flown through. There's been a lot of great content here today. If you've missed anything, feel free to go back in the stream and have a rewatch. Obviously, once the stream's finished, it'll be up as a video anyway, so you can rewatch it then. All the links to what we've already talked about is right down in the description, so if you want to go find out more or buy something, you can get all the details down there too. I think we've just got a bit more time for some general questions. We've got quite a few already to take a look at. But if there's any burning questions, pop them down in the comments and we'll try our best to get to them.
And of course, if we don't get to them today as well, do send them to us through our customer experience team via email. You can give us a call, send us a message on social media too, and we'll answer any question you may have.
That's it. Right, so let's get cracking. We've got Anthony Strathmore Road Junction, and he says, are there any HIA Freightliner wagons available in 00 gauge at the moment?
In 00, yes, we do have some available, but not too many of Dapol's most recent batch, and they are available to order on our website for just over £21 at the moment. So take a look at those. They're available in green and white. And of course as well, for N-Gauge modelers, we've just had the first batch available in N-Gauge. And if you have a look on our YouTube channel, we have just put a running video out of those as well with further details and a bit of history. So take a look.
Great stuff. Those 00 ones fly through, so if you do want some, you better get them soon. Gronks Model Railway says, has there been any update on the Dapol O-Gauge bubble cars yet?
We are believing that they're coming in towards the end of the year / early 2020. We've seen the decorated samples of them. And again, take a look at our listings because we've got images up of those and they do look really good. So you can get your pre-orders in now. And as soon as we get a more confirmed date, we'll add it straight onto our listings and let you know.
700 Shunter asks, will you produce a Bluebell Railway train pack? Now that's a really nice idea for another bundle that we could potentially do in the future with one of our P classes. So not something we got plans for right this second, but that's a brilliant suggestion. So thank you very much for letting us know. Simon Auntie James says he got his Class 121 Arriva Trains Wales from us the other day and he's really happy with it. That's great to hear. The 121s are fantastic DMUs. SGT Ghost says, what intermodal trains for N scale have you got at the moment? Well, there's one on the table right here, isn't there? That's available right now for just £200, so do get your hands on that if you can. Ben Davis says he can't wait to see us at the Great Electric Train Show next week, and we can't wait to see you guys either. Megaflyer37 says, when's the new Hornby digital train set due?
There's a couple of different sets that are coming through at the moment. There is a set with a diesel shunter and a small steam locomotive as well, and you get both sets of rolling stock, you get a fair bit of track, and you get a controller as well. That, we've been told, is going to be towards the start of December. So keep an eye on that on our website, and again, as soon as we get a more concrete date on that, we'll add it to our listings.
Brilliant. Robert Lindley says he's waiting for a Northern 2-car DMU in N-Gauge. And when will this be available? Now, I think Dapol's got a few coming through, haven't they? A 156 and a 153.
There is a 156 on the way in the Northern Rail livery, and that's in the Settle and Carlisle advertising livery that's come through. We have just had the 142 Pacers as well, which have been delivered in Northern Rail, but I think they're sold out in that.
I think the Northern Rail ones did go, yeah.
So have a look in our pre-owned section and see if there's any available in Northern Rail. Otherwise, take a look at the other liveries or have a look at that forthcoming 156.
Brilliant. We've got Upwell and Onward says, are there any SR pillbox brake fans in 00?
We do get them through from time to time in pre-owned, in our pre-owned section actually, in either SR livery or BR liveries, including the departmental olive green. So take a look there, and they'll look great alongside those LSWR brake vans we looked at about halfway through the stream as well. So
that's it.
If you're into your Southern Railway brake vans, do take a look back about halfway into the stream where we took a closer look at the forthcoming LSWR brake van.
Brilliant. Right, we've got about 1 minute left, so we'll try and get through a few rapid fire questions. We've got any plans to rerun the ICI hoppers in the light grey clean version from Brockwell Lane? Not something we're looking at the moment, unfortunately, but thanks for your suggestion. We'll pass that on to the team. Clive Cobbold says, is there any news on Helgen's Class 86 in 00?
We've just seen the first of the decorated samples for that, and we are expecting them towards spring 2020. They're available to order right now. We've had deliveries and the running numbers and the prices confirmed as well. So all the details we have so far are on our website.
Brilliant. And we've got a couple of questions on our Class 66, our Hattons Originals one. Ben Davis says he can't wait to get our one in BR Blue. And Transport UK says, is there any price on our double O gauge one? They're available to pre-order now for £150 digital ready. You can order them with digital fitting and digital sound for a bit more as well. There is information about those on our website, and they're still due into stock in December 2019. Right, we're up to 2 o'clock now, guys, unfortunately, so that means the end of the stream for today. Really, thank you very much for all joining us again for episode 10. Can't believe it's episode 10 already, but just really appreciate you guys. If you've been here from the start, for coming along with us on every episode, or if you're new to the channel, thank you very much for joining us today. Everything we featured here is all down in the description for you to check out on the website, and if you want to purchase anything. And yeah, I think that's us for today.
And we'll see you again next Friday at 1 o'clock for another episode of Platform 1.
See you next time, guys.